The challenges working in the Torres Straits is really the remoteness of your operation. Every time we go out, we're basically on our own.
My primary focus is keeping these aircraft operational so that if there is an emergency, we have an aircraft available for them to be picked up and brought back to the hospital.
Today we're here on Horn Island, far northern tip of Australia, with our newest 139s in Australia. Rescue 700, we're tasked to provide emergency services to the Cape York and Torres Strait areas. Yeah, g'day, I'm Mick Whitney, I'm the Flight Training Manager for Babcock. I manage all the training across the pilots for both Bell 412 and 139 helicopters. It's challenging flying up here, we're very remote, it's dark, the harshest threat would probably be the environment. We've got marine wildlife, we've got crocodiles, we have sharks, snakes, so it's quite unique. Talking about unique, you'll actually see behind me a very unique design. As part of the tender process, Q Health identified a way of engaging with the community and wanted to develop some design ideas for the new helicopters. As part of that process, they engaged some local artists, and Alex Toploti of Bardu Island's design was chosen, and that's what you see behind me. The design and painting was a collaboration and commissioning by Q Health of Alex Design, and Babcock, Q Health, Leonardo and LCI all contributed to the painting and design of the helicopters. So the service itself operates from everywhere up until Papua New Guinea. We are the last helicopter until Cairns, so that's an area 400 kilometres south of where we are, so the area is quite diverse. The majority of our tasks are inter-facility transport because it's made up of islands, so we can't rely on road transport. So we're going out to the individual islands that have health centres and we'll bring them back into the centre hospital.
Soon too, we're going to pick up a 53-year-old P2 patient. Take a doctor and nurse over there from the hospital.
Other tasks are SAR searches for stricken vessels. A lot of our water winching varies from people stuck in dinghies to yachts, cruise ships and barges.
Sunday, mate. Get all the team together, mate. Pilots and crew and engineers. The base, mate, breaks up the week.
So I'm Matt Dobson, I'm the Chief Aircrew Officer of Babcock MCS Australia. My role is to oversee the aircrew officers and rescue crew officers in Babcock. There's around 52 ACOs and we've got about 9 or 10 RCOs. So we're going to do vessel transfer training. We perform this periodically to qualify the paramedics in being transferred to a vessel when they have to pull someone off that requires transfer to a hospital. But today is mainly about me. It's about my currency and getting me recurrent and so that I can assist with covering lines and flying around and helping people. It's a very dynamic operation, so it's not only that the vessel is moving, winching in itself is inherently risky, but winching to a moving platform that's unpredictable makes it twice as bad. So sometimes when there's waves, the vessel will hit a wave and it comes up towards you and slows down. And then as it goes down the face of a wave, it'll nose over, speed up. So the cable has to be constantly adjusted so that you're not ripping the paramedic or the rescue crew officer on and off the deck.
My name's Matt O'Brien. I work for Babcock at Horn Island on the Queensland Health contract. So I'm employed as a rescue crew officer or rescue swimmer. Today we were just doing some training, so we kicked off with some boat training, did a 406 stretcher on and off the boat, done a ARV on and off the boat and then a single direct entry and exit. And then we did some water winching as well. So we throw the dummy into the water and then we go down with the rescue equipment and rescue the dummy, bring it back into the aircraft. There's so many considerations. Every I guess job or every scenario can be so different. So we train for that, and not just in the water, but even just in theory, just chatting about different scenarios and different ways to approach things and things like that. But Apart from the environmental factors, obviously the people that you're going to rescue can be just as much of a hazard. You know, if someone's exhausted and they've been in the water for a long time, their natural instincts to climb on top of you and try and get themselves, you know, safe and out of the water. So it's a consideration whenever we approach someone. So what's it like up here working in the tropics? Sometimes it's refreshing because it is usually fairly hot and humid up here, so it's nice to get in the water. But at the same time, we are very well aware that there is crocodiles, sharks and things like that. And we do see those pretty regularly. See quite a few crocs every now and then as we're travelling around. And even when we've been landing at the helipad at the hospital, I seen a shark 2 or 3 days ago going along the shallows there. So it's quite a sporting area to work.
Craig Peters, Senior Pilot, Babcock, Horn Island. I've been flying on Horn Island now 26 years, or just coming on 26 years. Came here in late 99.
So my name's Mike Bates. I'm the base chief engineer up here. I've been working for Babcock for 8 or 10 years now, since they took it over from Australian Helicopters. So all up on Horn Island, I've been up here, this is my 18th year.
Stepping into a brand new helicopter is always nice. And the 139 is for me, a modern aircraft. I know it's been around a while, but I stepped out of Bell 412s after about 25 years of flying Bell 412s into the 139. So it's a big step, totally different cockpit, different feel, different aircraft, but very nice to fly, nice having extra capacity, extra fuel, extra lift capacity.
Compared to the old helicopters, the old 412s that we were operating, it's a lot nicer to work on a new machine, obviously. A lot less mess on these than there is on the 412s. But because they're new, you know, they're a pleasure to work on, to be honest. Yeah, they're great to work on. So since we've had the 139, you know, we feel that as far as moving forward is concerned, it's going to be a lot more reliable for us. The fact that the community's actually embraced this whole 139 thing, they love the helicopters. But yeah, moving forward, it's just we hope anyway that they're just going to be a whole lot more reliable than the previous helicopters we were operating up here.
So the 139, amazing bit of gear, especially compared to the 412. Obviously the 412 is a workhorse and had done the job for many years, but you can't even compare that to the new 139s with, you know, the level of comfort, speed, endurance. We've got FLIR. They're just so much more advanced in so many ways. They're a great asset to have up here, especially given the distances. Nothing's really close for us. Everything's, you know, a bit of a trek. For Horn Island, for me, it's the variety and I suppose the pace. So we do a lot of medical jobs, but then we will also do a lot of search and rescue jobs. Yesterday morning, we were offered a yacht that washed up on the rocks, and you know, that following afternoon we can be doing a medical job. There's a lot of variety and it's pretty constant. The aircraft on jobs flies about 1,000 hours a year. Us guys, we fly about 130 to 160 hours a year as rescue crewmen. So it's always pretty constant. There's a lot going on.
The diversity flying up here is very good. I really enjoy working in remote areas. We have a diverse range of work areas we work in, from New Guinea all the way down to the bottom of Cape York Peninsula. So yeah, the variety is nice.
It's enjoyable in the fact that hear people talking about the aircraft themselves as far as how reliable they are and stuff like that. It's just, to me, the biggest positive in my job is seeing that the aircraft are available when they're needed. My goal every day is to try and keep these aircraft in the air. The company over the last couple of years has now tried to even get the community involved a little bit more by employing the locals as well. So Stephen and Gemma are both locals, they live in the area. It's great to have someone local who we can bring in and either be an apprentice or whatever the job might be. So as far as engineering goes with manpower, up on Horn Island we have 2 avionics guys, B2s, and at any one time we would normally have about 2 or 3 depending on how much work we were doing on the aircraft. Like I said, that all depends on the amount of work that we need. Say for instance we need to do a 300 or 600 hourly on one of these machines now. Our operations team would then roster on maybe 3 or 4 extra guys to come up here because it's quite a big job. So they would just fly in extra guys to help us out on that particular scheduled maintenance.
The new paint schemes on the helicopters are very nice. In the flesh, they were a lot better than we expected.
About the new paint jobs that these aircraft had been given, this was brought about by Queensland Health. What they wanted to do is they wanted to get the community involved with the aircraft. So what they did was they engaged one of the local artists from Babcock Island. He designed the paint schemes on both of these aircraft, and it depicts things that are going on in the Torres Strait. There's nothing like it in the world. Obviously quite pleased with the way it's turned out.
So the design you see here is actually called Lagor Kaya. What that translates to is Island Dragonfly. The colours chosen are the Torres Strait flag with the blue and the green, but the blue represents the waterways and seas, with the green the islands itself. The unique wave pattern is the flow of the wind, with the tribal design or Indigenous design incorporating animals, currents, strong winds, birds. Star at the back represents the 5 areas of the Torres Strait, and also the star in use of navigation. So the original people of this area utilised the stars and celestial navigation as a means of navigating the Torres Strait. You'll actually see that this one here is the green aircraft with the blue on top, and the other one is blue with green on top. How that came about is during the consultative process and the design, no one could decide on which one was better. So Q Health, I reckon, in a great initiative, said why not have both? So hence we've got this one, the green, and the other aircraft being the blue. Rescue 700 is the latest and greatest Phase 8 variant of the AW139. So these were the first 2 across the emergency helicopter network to incorporate the Phase 8. In addition to the Phase 8, both aircraft can be fitted with the MX-15 Fleur to aid us for the search and rescue missions. Also, tracker, searchlight. We have in the cabin the Striker Pro and the PLS system, which provides a zero lift capability for both crew and the QAS paramedics. Also, both aircraft are fitted with flotation, inbuilt flotation of the aircraft. On the other side of the helicopter, the aircraft are both fitted with an onboard systems winch and capable of lifting 227 kilos, which translates to 500 pounds. The hoist does get used quite a bit. This base, as you know, it's surrounded by islands, so a lot of our jobs involve water winching from the vessels, as I previously mentioned. So a lot of our training is focused on winch serials.
The Torres Straits is remote in Australia. When we go out in the field from here, we don't have any ground support. We go out and do a job and we're expected to probably complete the job. There's no marine assets really. There's a few, but not too many. There's no road assets.
Well, I'm actually used to working in remote areas. I've worked in the aviation industry for about 35 years now. Bar 4 years of those, I've worked in remote areas. In fact, I prefer to work in remote areas. One of the biggest problems we have up here is logistics, as far as getting bits and pieces up here that we might need to repair an aircraft when it goes down. That is the biggest headache we have up here, is first of all getting the parts from the supplier, and then getting those parts to us here on Horn Island, because sometimes if it's bigger than normal, we can't get them up here air freight, so they've got to come up on a barge from Cairns. So they've got to get from wherever they're coming from to Cairns, and then from there to here on a barge, which can take up to 2 weeks easily. So, you know, we have to be very prepared and have as many parts as we can without going over the top for that exact reason. This has always been the issue, regardless of whether it was a 412 or a 139. It gets quite nasty up here in our wet season, as far as the amount of rain and the humidity goes. Once again, it's something that I'm used to. It's not pleasant, but that's what we've signed up for, and you don't get used to it, but you learn to live with it. If we didn't enjoy it, we wouldn't be here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the wet season is a challenging time for about 3 or 4 months of the year. During the middle of the year, it's a beautiful place to fly. So we don't tell too many people because everyone want to be here. A bit cooler, the weather's a lot more predictable, which makes our job a bit easier.
My name's Dave Patterson. I'm on the Horn Island contract. I've been here for about a year. I've been with the company for about 14 years. So I'm having a bit of a sea change, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off up here. It's great, a good environment, really good people to work with. and I couldn't be happier working here. Okay, so if we start at the back of the aircraft, we've got a what we call our winch closet in the back here. We've got our 406 stretcher in the back for stretcher winching spinal patients. Also in the back of the locker, we've got a CRC, the child restraint capsule, for putting small children and infants up to 50 kilos in that bag. ARV in there, an air rescue vest, which is basically a triangle shaped vest which wraps around our patient. It secures the patient, disables them from being able to A, fall out, B, get too involved in with the paramedic or the rescue crewman. We can put their arms inside, they're nice and secure, we can get them up and into the aircraft without them being too intrusive. Also, we've got the rescue strop in there, which is basically just the yellow yoke that goes around people, and primarily we use that for water winch activities. That also has a hyperstrop attachment on it as well for patients that have been laying in water for long periods of time, need to be brought up with their knees at about heart level or chest height, and that's why that hyperstrop is on there. If we were to bring them up without the hyperstrop, they could go into a rest after being in that position in water for a long period of time. Aircraft's plumbed. We've got 2 D-size cylinder oxygen cylinders in the back, and they come full at about 17,000 kPa. So we've got those, we check those every day. They are plumbed into the aircraft. We've got 2 fittings in the roof here that will feed up to about 20 litres a minute. Otherwise, we've got 2 oxygen attachments on the back that we can put ventilated patients on. There is oxygen sensors on the back here that will tell us once the generators are online, they will light up and give us an indication of how much air is in those tanks without us actually having to look at the gauges. Electronic stretcher, the patient lifting or powered lifting system. A game changer for us in that we don't have to manhandle patients anymore. Essentially, a single female paramedic could move this stretcher in and out with a 150 to 200 kilo patient on it with one hand. It's a real game changer for particularly us old blokes. These stretchers are interchangeable throughout the state, so this stretcher could be here today, it could be in Brisbane tomorrow. The Royal Flying Doctor Service might come up, we'll transfer a patient from our stretcher directly into their aircraft, they'll give us their stretcher and we'll use that one until next they come and pick one up. So they are interchangeable throughout the state, and they're all in service at all times, so don't have to worry too much about their serviceability. We've got an aircraft life raft in the back. In the event of a controlled ditching situation, we will throw this raft out. It's got a handle on it to pull to inflate once it's in the water, and it's got all the necessary survival equipment in it to last us till another helicopter comes and picks us out. The paramedics leave some of their equipment on here at all times. There's an airway pack and what we call an inner facility transfer pack. It's just got some extra stuff that the doctors and paramedics require for certain jobs. They bring their S8 drugs with them in a yellow bag, and they bring portable oxygen as well. If we bring a doctor, he'll put another bag in the back that's got ventilator type equipment in it. On the stretcher, we've got the bridge that carries all of that equipment, so we'll have a monitor that will monitor all your vitals, heart rates, oxygen saturations, all that sort of things on there. And then if the patient needs to be ventilated, we can put a ventilator on there and take over their airway system. They'll be unconscious, ventilated with a tube down their throat, and that system. So basically, it's a emergency care unit in the air. You can have a ventilated patient in this aircraft.
Great bunch of guys, upper management. We get on with them really well. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it the whole way through.